So one of the founders of Xbox has concerns about Xbox Game Pass. Let's get into it.
Try to relax your anus.
Skip it up and that up. With a 32-inch 4K Ultra HD resolution, a 98% P3 IPS panel with HDRI, FreeSync Premium Pro, 1 millisecond response time, and 144 Hz refresh rate, built-in 2.1 channel speakers powered by Trevolo Audio, an AI noise-canceling microphone for super clear voice communication, DSP chips to augment depth, clarity, definition, presence, and stereo field imaging, multiple ports that make it compatible with all different kinds of devices, and BenQ proprietary eye care technology for viewing comfort. The BenQ EX3210U is the perfect monitor for your PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, or gaming PC. Click the link in the description to find out more. So Ed Fries actually led the team that helped develop the original Xbox. He is part of the reason that the Xbox brand is around today. So this isn't just some random talking head who shook hands with Phil Spencer once and that's how he's an Xbox affiliate or affiliated with Xbox, I mean to say. He's an industry veteran. Doesn't mean necessarily what he is saying here is right, but he's an educated voice nonetheless. Well, anyway, Ed Fries was just on the Xbox Expansion Pass podcast, and he has some very grave concerns about what gaming subscription services are going to do to the future of the industry. Now, keep in mind, Xbox Game Pass, as of January, has 25 million subscribers, which is nothing to sneeze at. But let's compare that to Spotify and Netflix. Spotify is sitting at 182 million subscribers, and Netflix, I'm sure this number is fluctuating right now, to put it kindly, is sitting at around 222 million. So yeah, Xbox Game Pass is doing well, but it still has a long way to go to meet those kinds of numbers. But let's continue. This is what Ed Fries had to say. This comes from videogameschronicle.com. They got this from the podcast. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. The one thing that they're doing that makes me nervous is Game Pass. Game Pass scares me because there is a somewhat analogous thing called Spotify that was created for the music business. When Spotify took off, it destroyed the music business. Really? I'm going to refute that in a minute. It literally cut the annual revenue of the music business in half. It's made it so people don't want to buy songs anymore. Mr. Fries, you're a brilliant dude, don't get me wrong. Did you hear of Napster before that? LimeWire? There was, okay, you could buy the songs a la carte. iTunes was another thing that was out there, but okay, Spotify people are signing up for subscriptions. I'm not saying that artists are making anywhere near the same amount of money. Yes, Spotify is hurting artists, but you know what hurt artists even more? People just straight up pirating the music and not paying any kind of subscriptions. I think I think making zero money is a little less profitable than making some money. People don't buy songs on an iPhone, for example, because why would you? Yeah, because there's also Apple Music. They're all on your subscription service app. Apple said they're going to take away buying songs because no one's buying them anymore, which, yeah, of course not. Why would I buy an album that, unless it's an exceptional one that I may listen to 10 times when I could just sign up for a subscription service? And I'm really big into Griselda and Conway and West Side Gun and Benny the Butcher and all those artists. I'd rather sign up for Apple Music, and every time something new comes out, I could just listen to it instantly, or from The Alchemist or A-Rap Music and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, of course, I'm not going to buy the individual albums. I'll just pay for it on Apple Music and be good. And as soon as something drops, most of the time I get it right away because of my subscription. So we have to be careful we don't create the same system in the game business. These markets are more fragile than people realize. Now, there he has a point. Games are way, way, way more expensive to put together than it is to put together an album. Not that an album is anything to sneeze at, but it's nowhere near the amount of production that goes into a game. So I could see that part. It is a more fragile ecosystem, but let me continue. I saw the games industry destroy itself in the early 80s. Are you bringing up that collapse doesn't count, man? That was because the market wasn't regulated by the companies at all. That's why the Nintendo seal of quality came around, because anyone who wanted to take a dump, put it on a cartridge and plop it in an Atari 2600. That's why no one trusted the games anymore. All of these games were just shit shoveled into a cardboard box to sell you. Why did I use so many turd analogies? What are you doing to me? But you get my point. That was it wasn't just the piss poor port of Pac-Man or E.T. back then. These games, you didn't have the reviews like you have now, especially now with YouTube and everyone's reviewing games. So no one knew if a game was good or not. So they're like, this is kind of what is this, a fad? These games are junk. That was why that crash happened. I saw the educational software business destroy itself in the mid-90s. They literally destroyed a multi-billion-dollar market in a few years. So Game Pass makes me nervous. As a customer, I love it. I love Spotify as a customer. I have all the songs I'd ever want. It's a great deal as a customer, but it isn't necessarily great for the industry. And he continues on to talk about Spotify here. At some point, it tipped and everything had to be on Spotify. The percentage of all games that are on Game Pass is still tiny, and there are a lot of games. 200 games a week come out on Steam, and more than that on mobile. Now, has the music industry changed quite a bit, where there was a time in the 80s and 90s that an artist, you wouldn't have to tour. The CDs were going $20 a pop, and you had to buy CDs. There wasn't... And I remember the first MP3, this is how much of a nerd I am, the first MP3 I ever listened to was on a 60 megahertz Pentium that was actually too slow to play it unless it played it in 10-second chunks. And it was a song from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And I remember downloading that on dial-up and being like, oh my God, this is the future. I just downloaded this super small file. Okay, yeah, my computer's not powerful enough to even play the damn song for more than 10 seconds at a time, but this sounds CD quality. But that was a point where artists, you were making so much money just from the album sales that there was a huge chunk of the industry there. Now, a lot of artists, a lot of times their songs go viral, whether it be on YouTube or Spotify or whatever. You know what they do. We know where the cash comes from. You know where they make their money from touring. So the industry had to evolve, adapt, and change. That's going to be what has to happen with the gaming industry. Now, you are right, Ed. It is more fragile and way more expensive to produce a game in spades than it is to produce an album, depending on the game. If it's a AAA game, I should say. Let me add that asterisk in there. Those are quotations, but just asterisk. But unfortunately, once Pandora's box is opened, it's not going to close again. And I don't see the subscription service Pandora's box closing again. And unless it's irrefutable and a bunch of game companies do go belly up due to the subscription service, which I don't think is going to happen, game services are here to stay. And if anything in the future, hopefully way down the line, because I'm not looking forward to it yet, we're going to go to everything being on a cloud streaming service where you're going to be able to be camping up in a mountain in the woods somewhere, and there's going to be enough 5G signal that you're going to have latency-free gaming. We're ways away from that. But I just think that Ed Fries was looking at this the wrong way. If anything, Spotify actually helped remonetize. I'm not saying they pay artists fairly. Vinny Paz was on Joe Rogan a while back, and he was saying that he makes chump change on there. But at least there's chump change to be made. How much money were artists making when you went on Napster back in the day, or just got a torrent of an album and didn't pay them? They were making zero. So just like the music industry, which failed to do it, especially initially, they kind of ignored MP3s and digital downloaded music until the 11th hour. But just like the music industry, the gaming industry is going to have to adapt, evolve, and change, because subscription services are here and you can't make them go away. Pandora's box, like I said, has been opened. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.